Very good morning, Praveen. Yeah, good morning. Very good morning, Tejas. Very good morning, Praveen. Guys, please do let me know the audio video both are clear or not. Okay, then we'll start the class. So today's topic is ecosystem, as you already have known about the thumbnail. Okay, spoon and brush. Wow, spoon and brush. So you are so much interested in makeup, right? All clear. Very good. So we'll start the class. Guys, before that, just have a look that there is a batch we have already launched. Like batch is starting, admission is still on. That admission is going to close on 7th of June 2025. So the last date is 7th of June. Those are interested to like boost their preparation, to enhance their preparation with us, to connected with us all the time and get like guidance from us, from the top educators from StudyIQ OPSC. Guys, they can purchase our plan, the Aarambh 3.0 batch. This is the pre plus mains and with preparation of your interview also. This is the foundation batch of Odisha. This is the Aarambh 3.0 and with that, if you are using my code, no matter this is the Aarambh batch or this is the Paripurna batch, if you are using my code, the SSP Live, you could have a better discounted price. You can have a least discounted price. This is the Paripurna batch. The another batch which we have already completed 3 batches of the Paripurna batch. This one is the 4th batch of this, and this is also the 2025-26 P plus mains foundation batch of the Odisha State Exams. Okay, and this also admission going to end on 5th of June. So those are interested to purchase our plan, they can use my code SSP Live and can have a least discounted price to avail this offer. Okay, ma'am, all environmental protocol और treaties पढ़ाएंगे क्या? श्योर, आप बोल देंगे तो फिर नेक्स्ट क्लास वही आएगा. आज के क्लास में आज की क्लास ना एकदम शेड्यूल है, लाइक पहले से ही ये फिक्स्ड है कि आज इकोसिस्टम ही पढ़ाएंगे. ठीक है, अगर आज की क्लास में ना ही तो पीपीटी रेडी है ना ही आपको कुछ पढ़ा पाएंगे. ठीक है, आज जो भी होगा तो इकोसिस्टम के ऊपर ही होगा. और इकोसिस्टम के लाइक आज यू नो ब्रीफ, मैं स्टार्टिंग में क्या करती हूँ ना, क्लास में थोड़ा ब्रीफिंग कर देती हूँ कि व्हाट आई एम गोइंग टू टीच यू. तो ब्रीफिंग होने के बाद 10-15 मिनट लगभग होगा, उसके बाद तुम्हारा एमसीक्यूज राउंड होगा. ठीक है, तो नेक्स्ट क्लास पक्का मैं आप जो बोल रहे हो ना, जो आपका डिमांडिंग टॉपिक है लाइक उसके ऊपर लेके आऊंगी, एनवायरनमेंट के ऊपर ही लेके आऊंगी. ठीक है, एवरीथिंग दैट आर्टिकल्स एंड एवरीथिंग. ओके, so have patience till then. Okay, so guys, the sociology and we have already preparing the students for the sociology optional as well as the ethics has already started, and the new foundation course of the ethics has taken the class of ethics by Sarosh Samal sir, the giant of sociology and the Odisha State PCS. He has also guided many of students and he has 20 of at least 15 years plus experience in this field. Okay, so you can also batch. Okay, so today's topic is ecosystem. Okay, today's topic is ecosystem. So not delaying, start the class. Sorry guys. Okay, so now see what is ecosystem. Ecosystem basically like साइड में मैं आपको दे चुकी हूँ, क्योंकि एक तुम्हारा ब्रीफ आइडिया आ जाएगा व्हाट इज इकोसिस्टम. Then divided into 2 types, that is the abiotic factors again with the biotic factors. Mainly the ecosystem we are studying in the environment phase, that is the biotic factors. And what are those biotic factors? That producers, consumers, and decomposers. Again, guys, the consumers are of three types: the primary and the secondary and the tertiary. And in the case of primaries, what are those? Like the herbivores. In the case of secondary, that is the primary carnivores, and the tertiary, that they are the secondary carnivores. So among them, we will study in the class. Okay. So see, what is an ecosystem, guys? It says an ecosystem is a biological community, is a biological community of interacting organisms of a minute. Okay, of interacting organisms like what? Like plants, like animals, like the microorganisms. So basic is the living organisms where we are going to talk about, that are the plants, animals and the microorganisms and their physical environment. And what? And their physical environment, like they are merged with what? They are merged with soil, they are merged with water, they are also merged with the air. So basically, where we have found them in the environment, in which factor, in the soil, in the air and in the water, we will study about those. And the factors like the organisms, the living organisms, as the plants and animals and the other microorganisms. We will study about them in the ecosystem class. So say it is a self-sustaining unit where biotic and abiotic, biotic means living and abiotic or non-biotic, like if you are going to study, then this is the abiotic one. Okay, the components interact and exchange energy and nutrients. So among them, the components or the energy field. Good morning, ma'am. Namaskar, Guru ma. Sorry for late join class, ma'am. It's okay. Focus on the class. Okay. So what is this? This is the components interact, exchange the energy and the nutrients. No matter what the components and what the nutrients, they can exchange in between them, in between the living organisms and with the factors they are in. Okay, like the plants are attached with the soil. So between the energy or the nutrient exchange between the soil and the plants, this is the field of ecosystem. Clear? Next, see components of an ecosystem. So what are those components? Like first of all, the biotic components and the abiotic components. Clear? So from like below the biotic components, what are those factors? Like the biotic in the case of living, abiotic is non-living. The biotic, that means the animals or the microorganisms or the plants somehow. Okay, we can take them as example. But in the case of abiotic, the soil, the light, the water, air, humidity, temperature, etc. are the conditions of abiotic. Whereas the fungi, plants, animals, the protists, the archaea, the bacteria, these are under biotic ecosystem. So see, what is the biotic component? Those are living. Under biotic components, you can categorize three types as the producer, consumers and decomposers. Clear? So, in the case of producers, the green plants and algae that perform the photosynthesis. That means, obviously, photosynthesis occurs in which part of the plant? That is the chlorophyll. We know that. But कोठी हुए ना only plant केस में ही हुए, that we know. Only plant में ही होता है photosynthesis. So, the producers are basically take part in the process of photosynthesis and can make them complete. That is the green plants and the algae. Green plants and algae, why? Because they are in green. And we know the green is due to the chlorophyll pigment present in the part of the plant. That's why, and the chlorophyll is the vital part of the photosynthesis. Clear? So see, the consumers what? The animals, like the both the herbivores, the carnivores, or no matter the omnivores. They thrice are the consumers. And the decomposers, guys, the bacteria and fungi, like they break down the dead material. When any kind of animal got dead, then the decomposers are do what? They help them to degrade. They help them to degrade because of what? Because of the presence of the bacteria and the fungi in our environment. They get attached to that dead matter and they started the decomposition process. Clear? Next, see the abiotic components, that are the those are the non-living, like I have already said, the sunlight, temperature, air, water, soil, minerals, etc. Those are non-living at the abiotic. Clear? Next, see types of ecosystem, guys. What are the kind of ecosystem and what are the basic two types of ecosystem? One is the natural and another is the artificial. So below, like in the natural ecosystem, we can find two types of ecosystem. One is the terrestrial ecosystem, another is the aquatic ecosystem. Terrestrial lead to the forest, grassland, desert condition. Aquatic, aquarium mane directly relate kari paribo. The aquatic word is directly related with what? The fresh water. That means the rivers or lakes or the marine, no matter the marine under the ocean or the sea. Clear? The terrestrial is the forest, grassland and desert. You can say like those ecosystem are in the dry condition. Instead of aquatic, rest all are the terrestrial. Or instead of terrestrial, rest all in the aquatic field are that obviously the aquatic ecosystem. So next is the artificial ecosystem, that is the man-made. Suppose we are having a garden, we are having a swimming pool and we are having a pond also. This is also feature like not naturally occur. We have to make them for our own purpose, that are the artificial ecosystem. That is the man-made. Suppose in the case of garden, in the crop field, the aquariums, or you can say if you are digging a pond near your house, that is also under the artificial ecosystem. So see what is the natural versus artificial ecosystem, guys. The natural ecosystem is a natural unit consisting of all plants, animals and microorganisms that can contain naturally. In the case of artificial ecosystem are created by human beings, where management balance of the nature is disturbed regularly. Obviously, we are going to disrupt the nature is disturbed by us. That is artificial. Then a place where plants and animals are dependent often on another is what? Is the natural. But in the case of the basic biotic and abiotic components are defined by man in artificial ecosystem. Like in a specific, in a certain region, what type of plants or what type of aquatic animals we are going to put inside the, like suppose the pond or the aquarium, that is depend upon our decision. That is the natural decision. So any artificial thing or actions we are doing, that is due to the artificial ecosystem or by the artificial ecosystem. Clear? So example, sugarcane, rice fields, wheat, gardens, dams and the aquariums are the example of artificial ecosystem. Hope clear about both natural and artificial. Next, see the function of ecosystem. What are the function of ecosystem? See, first the energy flow. But now from the sun directly, the producers can directly just absorb the sunlight and they can use the, like they can function accordingly. The producers, then from the producers the consumers, then consumers to decomposers. These are the three steps, the four steps: from the sunlight, then producer, then consumers, then decomposers. Then the nutrient cycle, guys, the reuse of elements like carbon, nitrogen and water are being developed in the nutrient cycling. In the ecological balance, that is the maintains population and resource stability. No matter on which region we are, we have to maintain the stability. We have to maintain the stability. Okay. Next, the the biogeochemical cycle, that is the regulation of essential elements. Muduli Dakhtar, ma'am, how to achieve the regol? Regol of what, guys? So this is the carbon, nitrogen, phosphorus, etc. are under what? under the geochemical cycles. Next is the ecosystem function, guys. What? This is ecological process that control the fluxes of energy, nutrients and organic matter through an environment. No matter what ecological process, that can be the ecological balance, the biochemical process, the nitrogen cycle, the everything, the cycles what are going under our environment are attached with our environment. That's due to the what? Ecological process, and the various of factors are affecting that and various of factors are enhancing that. The example you can say the primary production, the nutrient cycling, the decomposition or the habitat building. The assume this is related to the biodiversity. Okay, everything are connected with the biodiversity and the ecosystem. So next is the food chain and food web. What is food chain? And this is a linear flow of energy. And what is food web? This is interconnected food chains ensuring the stability. One is the linear flow of energy, another is the stability of the food chain. See, here is the differentiation. Like food chain we can have a single linear pathway. That is, যদি ତମର ଗୋଟେ pyramid ଅଛି and ସେଇଠୁ ତମର ଯାଉଛି କଣ ନା energy flow ଯାଉଛି, then only there is a one way to go upright only. There is not a second way to come downright. So isolated food chains decrease stability of the ecological communication where the one individual occupies one trophic level only. Only one individual can have access of one trophic level only up to this. Then here another like organisms, or we can say another individual. Then here also another one. So the food chain have the less adaptive, whereas the food wave has the more adaptive. Like food wave, just have a look about the food wave, guys. That is made up of several interconnecting pathways. That way I will show you. The more complex food waves increase the stability of ecological community, whereas one individual occupies many trophic levels. One individual can occupy, like they can both go to the level of, no matter from the primary consumer, they can go to the tertiary. Okay, so this can be the food chain and food wave. Why marine ecosystem has inverted pyramid? Okay, just have a look. Question. The trophic labels are what? The producers that they are in the first label. Primary consumers, they are in the second label. The secondary consumers, they are in the third label. And the tertiary is the fourth one, and the decomposers at all levels. Okay. So in the case of decomposers, see here what we have seen, that more complex and food waves increase stability of ecological community and made up of several interconnecting pathways. That means one individual can access to more levels. Suppose in the all levels we can find the decomposers, but the tertiary, secondary, or no matter the primary are we can have in a specific group, but in the consumers we can have in a different layers or different labels. Suppose these are the producer labels, these are the primary consumers, and in the end we can have a the consumers or the quaternary consumers, or in the end we can have a decomposers, the bacteria and the fungi and all. So this is see the decrease in biomass and the energy transfer. And guys, the energy transfer always pyramid structure tha, whenever we are going to show any kind of energy level in a pyramid structure, that is always in 10% increase. Like from the this one is also 10%, and when we are going to operate, then also a 10% increasing in nature. That is also 10%. So in the gap there is a 10% of gap between them. So this is all. And what you guys have a query about it, then please do ask me. Rabin Thakur, ma'am, why marine ecosystem has inverted pyramid, right? Or anyone else having any question? Prabin, you are in the class or not? Prabin, are you in the class? Okay, if you are in, yes, if you are in the class, guys, see, when we are going to study about the marine ecosystem or the aquatic ecosystem, in that field, we are facing that this is due to the rapid turnover. This is, sir, doubt. Focus on the class. This is due to what? This is due to the rapid turnover and high reproductive rates of the aquatic animals. Due to the high reproductive rates, this is so much important than the other elements, than the other organisms. In the aquatic field, there is no boundary, there is no like restriction between the outgrowth of reproduction. So there is, which allow them to sustain a larger biomass and of the consumers instead of all other, no matter the aquatic or the desertic condition. Get it? Do you know about the phytoplankton? Have you ever heard the word about the phytoplankton? Due to the outbreak, due to the outgrowth of the phytoplankton like rapidly in the aquatic ecosystem, this is the main factor that is enhance the inverted ecosystem. Okay, so see the question answer round, guys. The first question: which of the following is an abiotic component of an ecosystem? Which of the following is an abiotic component of an ecosystem? Algae, fungi, soil, or earthworm? Tell me what will be the right answer. Abiotic, that means non-living. Abiotic, that means guys non-living. So which of the following is an abiotic component of an ecosystem? That's why I am saying you again and again to be present in my class in the initial time. Clear? Yeah. This is soil. Because the algae, fungi and earthworm, they are the biotic ecosystem. They are under the biotic ecosystem and because of the biotic nature. Next, see what is the abiotic components of ecosystem. Guys, the non-living materials in an ecosystem such as minerals, gases, liquids and the chemicals are referred to as a abiotic or non-biotic, or we can say the non-living factors. The abiotic meaning not alive are non-living factors that affect living organisms, environment factors such as like everything you can, like pond, the lake, the ocean, the desert, the mountain, you can have an idea or you can have an example of these. Next, see the producers in an ecosystem are primarily responsible for, very good. Producers in an ecosystem are primarily responsible for decomposing matter, consuming herbivores, synthesizing food or recycling nutrients. Tell me, producers in an ecosystem are primarily responsible for. Praveen, Dakhtar. Yes. Praveen. Yes. The producers in an ecosystems are primarily responsible for the synthesizing of food. Okay. No matter the decomposing the matters, they are the function of the decomposers, consuming herbivores, these are the consumers. But in the case of what? Producers, they are the synthesizing food. See, what are the producers? The plants are living organisms. They need nourishment to survive. But plants do not eat other plants or animals. Plants are called producers. That's why, because they make their own food inside themselves. Next questions. Which of the following is a natural ecosystem? Natural ecosystem and the artificial ecosystem, I have elaborated both the ecosystem. Tell me the right answer. Yes, Tejas, right. Next question answer. Which of the following is a natural ecosystem? The aquarium, the crop field, the forest, the garden. You can easily audit out. Okay, what is that? The forest is the natural ecosystem. These all are the artificial ecosystem. Already have told about the natural and the artificial. You can also have a look if you have any doubt. Okay. Next, see, in a food chain, the energy transfer from one trophic level to the next approximately, already my answer kahi sari shudamano, right? I have already discussed the answer earlier, so please give me the right answer in the comment section. In a food chain, the energy transfer from one trophic level to the next trophic level approximately what percent? This is a very important question for the exam perspective. Tell me. Yes, Prabin. So in the today's class, you are very much concentrated, right? Otherwise, you always made a silly mistakes. So in a food chain, only about 10% of the energy from one trophic level to the next is transferred to the next. This is known as the 10% law also, proposed by Raymond Linpan. The rest of energy, approximately rest of 90% left, is lost as heat used for metabolic processes or remains unconsumed. And the food chain, you can already like from the childhood we are studying this, but still just have a look. Suppose from the primary consumer, suppose this is the producer. Okay, the producer, then the primary consumer, then the secondary consumer, then the tertiary consumer, then the like predator, then the decomposer. Okay, this is the food chain, and just have a brief idea about the food chain and the food web. Next, see what is the decomposers in an ecosystem include. Decomposers in an ecosystem include what? The earthworms and the beetles, fungi and bacteria, plants and algae, or the herbivores. Tell me the right answer. Yes, Doctor, you are right. Tejas also right. Jagannath also right. Okay. Tell me the next question answer. Decomposers in an ecosystem include what? Earthworms and beetles, fungi and bacteria, plants and algae, or herbivores. प्रवीण, एक बार क्या तारीफ कर ली फिर तुम तो हवा में उड़ने लगे. क्लास पे ध्यान दो. Yeah, all are giving B as the right option. They are right. Okay, this is the fungi and the bacteria. I have already told you several times that the decomposers are nothing but the fungi and the bacteria that make the dead matter into degradable. Okay. Yes. So what are the decomposers, guys? A decomposer is an organism that breaks down the materials, changing them into smaller particles, while earthworms, maggots, and the slaters are classified as decomposers. Most decomposition is done by a wide variety of bacteria and fungi. बट मैम मैं तो ठीक आंसर किया. काहे का ठीक यार. अब ये क्या ठीक आंसर आपने किया, फिर बता दो मुझे. मैं ही तो गलत हो गई शायद. So these microbes make nutrients such as nitrogen, sulfur, phosphorus and carbon available to other living things. Like after decomposition, they create what? The nitrogen, sulfur, phosphorus, carbon available to the living things. This is very, very important for the nitrogen side. Next, the question. Acha, decomposes again, like after ending the class, then please just watch the class again in the 1.5 or 2x speed. Okay, Praveen? Come to the next question. Which ecosystem has the highest productivity? That is the desert, ocean, tropical rainforest, or the grassland? जगन्नाथ छाड़ यार तांको छाड़ तमे क्वेश्चन आंसर दियो. Which ecosystem has the highest productivity? That is desert, ocean, tropical rainforest, or grassland? Very good. Very good, Praveen. That is tropical rainforest. Okay, that has the highest productivity. Which ecosystem? This question is randomly asking in the examination that which ecosystem has the highest productivity and which ecosystem has the lowest productivity. So keep it in your mind. The question is very important. That is the tropical rainforest. Okay, so an ecosystem with the highest productivity is the tropical rainforest. These ecosystems are characterized by warm temperatures, abundant rainfall, and year-round growing seasons, which contribute to high levels of primary production. The rate at which plants convert solar energy into organic matter. Clear? Yes, lowest in desert. Next, chalo. Which of the following is not part of the biotic community? That is the plants, water, animals, or bacteria. Which of the following is not a part of the biotic community? That means the living community. Tell me what is not living. That means obviously that are the abiotic or non-living. So among the four options, what is the abiotic or what is the non-living? Tell me. Tejas, Praveen, Dakhtar, Jagannath. Tell me the right answer. Yes, this is what? And the rest all are the living ones. So, a abiotic community, also known as a biota. Keep it in your mind. Exam re tamanku confuse kariba lagi emti bhi question asibo. So, just have a knowledge about what is the biota or the biosynosis. Is the group of organisms that live together and interact with each other within an environment or habitat. Together, the biotic community and the physical landscape or abiotic factors make of an ecosystem. Clear? Next question. The pyramid of energy is always. The pyramid of energy is always the 10% law. Tell me, is always what? Upright, inverted, irregular, or random? Tell me the right answer, guys. The pyramid of energy is always the 10% law. Jagannath, Praveen, Dakhtar, Tejas. Tell me the right answer, guys. Yes, this is always upright. This is what? This is always upright. So see, the pyramid of energy is always upright, starting from the primary consumer to the decomposers one, or to the next level of decomposers or the like habitat. Okay, so the first topic level are the producers and the last one is the predators. Okay, after that the predators, after the predators level there is the decomposers level. Okay, next see, the primary source of energy in an ecosystem is, the primary source of an energy in an ecosystem is due to what? The primary consumer, secondary, the tertiary. But before the primary consumers, they can get energy from what? Suppose the grass or the plants or the all the green plants or the algae, they can have energy from what? From which source they can have it? This is from Very good. This is from sun. Okay. See, the plants are getting the energy from the sun. The first energy flow from the sun directly. Then the primary consumer, then also the secondary, then the tertiary or the decomposer. Next question. An ecosystem is a structural and functional unit of सकल सकल नहीं सकल शक्तिर आधार बोधे अच्छा तेजस तेजस ओडिया स्टूडेंट I think right. I think Hindi wala. Okay, so Praveen is only student in my class, non-Odia, right? Okay, no worries. Tell me the next question, guys. An ecosystem is a structural and functional unit of what? Unit of evolution, unit of genetics, unit of respiration, or environment. It's okay. Tell me. Tejas. Tejas, you are from Nata to Odia Laguni Jama. Robin, you are saying to skip it. Really? Just give the answer. Maybe environment, no, huh? This is the right answer, that is environment. Okay, this is environment. So the ecosystem is a structural and functional unit of what? Environment. Clear? All the, no matter the population, ecosystem, community, or any biosphere we are having, we are facing, we are studying. That is about our environment. Nothing beyond that. Okay. Next question. What does a food web represent? What does a food web represent? That only produces a single energy pathway, interconnected food chains, or non-living components. I am talking about food web, not food chain. In food chain, there is no interconnected food chain. Like what? Interconnection of the producers or the herbivores or the carnivores or the decomposers, everything. The primary, secondary, tertiary consumers, they are not interconnected. But the food web, there is a interconnection. So tell me what would be the right answer. I have already discussed about. Tell me. Yes, Praveen, right. Tejas? Yes. This is the interconnected food chain. This is what? Interconnected food chain. See, the food web shows the transfer of energy within an ecosystem. Energy is transferred between organisms when one organism eats another. That means they are interconnected. Okay. Next, see, which of these is a secondary consumer? Tell me the right answer. Question number 12, guys. Yes, right. Question number 12. 11 already complete hai salani, so come from the 11 question to 12. Which of these is a secondary consumer? Tejas ଗଣିବାକୁ ପଡୁଛି ନା ଡାଇଗ୍ରାମ କରିବାକୁ ପଡୁଛି? Yeah. Tejas rabbit haba kemiti? Primary? Yes, Praveen, you are right. Tejas rabbit nahi, snake hi haba. The secondary pacharichi na. Yes, Jagannath. Yes, Praveen. Dakhtar, also right. The snake is the secondary one. See, the secondary consumer is an organism that eats the primary consumers. That eats the primary consumers in a food chain. That means the primary consumers are the herbivores that the plant eaters. Suppose the कौन तेजस झिंटिका देख फॉर एग्जांपल झिंटिका घासटा को तमे निवनी तो घासटा गोटे जेहेतु नॉन आमे नॉन लिविंग कथा कहूचे तो नॉन लिविंग को साइड करके तमे लिविंग नु ही काउंट कर तमरो कंज्यूमर रिलेटेड ओके सो लिविंग ही तो कंज्यूमर सही परिबो ना नॉन लिविंग टा को हम केमति नै परिबा कंज्यूमर कथा कहिछि एठी डायरेक्टली प्रोड्यूसर कथा कहली आमे घास को कौन नहीं परिबा एज अ प्रोड्यूसर नॉट अ कंज्यूमर क्लियर फर्स्ट ट्री नहीं फर्स्ट कंज्यूमर हमर हबो लाइक तमर झुंटिका या फिर घास को जो माने डायरेक्टली खाउचंती ताको हमें नहीं परिबा ओके that the primary consumers are the herbivores that only the plant eaters so secondary consumers are usually carnivores or maybe the omnivores okay the meat eaters or the both plant and meat and for example secondary consumers the frog yes the frog is the like primary consumers okay or the insects जंटिकार example भी तमनको नेली the eats insects primary consumers snake eats mice or frog they are the secondary then fox eat rabbits then small birds then spiders clear हाँ हो गया प्रवीण वो ऐसे ही गलती से बोल दिया उसको इतना भी चिढ़ा नहीं मत जा प्रवीण तुमको जरा भी खराब नहीं लगता यार तुमको जब सब चिढ़ाते हैं तो तुम क्या करते हो tell me the simplest ecosystem that can be created artificially is the simplest ecosystem that can be created artificially is the zoo garden aquarium or the pond let Prabin to answer guys please let all to Prabin the answer Prabin give me the right answer please ठाकुर सर आंसर दीजिए this is the aquarium that's why I tell Prabin to answer only got it garden really aquarium you can have a single small glass of aquarium you can have in your drawing room or dining room that is the easiest and the simplest ecosystem you can have in your home which of the following ecosystem is most vulnerable to pollution you always like make the simple mistakes but you always also laugh on others that is not good na tell me the next which of the following ecosystem is most vulnerable to pollution that is the forest grassland desert or aquatic guys pollution to the environment here this is not mentioned the which type of pollution not the air pollution but that can be the water pollution too okay please give me the right answer of the question number 14 yes yes Jagannath right that is aquatic the aquatic ecosystem an aquatic ecosystem is what is an ecosystem in body of water communities of organisms that are dependent on each other and on their environment live in what live in aquatic ecosystem okay and the main type of aquatic ecosystems are three types one is the marine ecosystem another is the freshwater ecosystem and another is the estuarine next in which ecosystem are lichens most commonly found lichens कहला okay so lichens हमर कोठी हमें पाइबा को पाइबा marine desert forest or tundra tell me it's my fast day it's okay Tejas marine ecosystem nahi Sachin not marine Prabin not marine Jagannath give me the answer please This is tundra. Yes, very good. The only student is serious about his preparation, that is Jagannath. That is tundra, guys. Okay. So what is tundra? See. So the tundra is a type of ecosystem found in cold region of the world. Okay, only in the Iceland areas. So such as the Arctic and some part of the high mountains, it is characterized by the extremely cold climate with very low temperature throughout the year. So the tundra is mainly covered by the low vegetation area, such as the mosses, lichens and small hops. The mosses, lichens and small hops are plentifully available in which area, in which ecosystem or which region, that is the tundra. Okay, that is the tundra. Next, energy flow in an ecosystem is, tell me, energy flow in an ecosystem is cyclic, one way, random or bidirectional. Always, I have already told you, energy flow is always what? Upright and in one step to another step. That means there is no degradation. That means what? Only cyclic, one way, random or bidirectional. Guys, the random is not in the option or cyclic is not in the option. There is either that can be one way or one directional or in the bidirectional. The right answer will be what? One way. Cyclic. Acha Sachin. Sachin Kumar Misra. If class represent or starting row, then you can access all the question answer. Yes, yes, Jagannath, right. This is one way, right, Doctor? So energy flows through an ecosystem is always one-way stream from primary producers to the various consumers, to the last level that are predators too. From the primary producer to the predators, there is a only one-way track. The food chain is a series of steps in which organisms transfer energy by eating and being eaten. So there is a primary producer to the, I have said, the predators or the carnivores. There is the algae, flatfish, have an example of all the same. Okay. Next, which ecosystem occupies the largest area? Which ecosystem occupies the largest area of the Earth's surface? Is, you already know the Earth has the 1/4 of the part of the Earth there is a land. Rest all are the water. That means the large, obviously, the largest ecosystem that are having in the world is, or the Earth is, the ocean or the aquatic ecosystem or the aquatic. Clear? Next, which of the following ecosystem typically has an inverted pyramid of biomass? Praveen, I'm just expecting the right answer from you. Which of the following ecosystem typically has an inverted pyramid of biomass? That is the grassland ecosystem, that is the desert ecosystem, that is the marine ecosystem or forest ecosystem. Priyadarshini, tell me the 18 question answer. Which of the following ecosystem typically has an inverted pyramid of biomass? That is only the marine ecosystem. That is marine. Rest all are not inverted. They are the one-way track. Okay. Yes, the marine ecosystem. See, the marine ecosystem is what? This is the ecosystems are located mainly in the coastal areas and in the open ocean. The organisms that live in coastal areas adapt to changes in water level and salinity. And the organisms that live in the open ocean adapt to changes in temperature and the amount of sunlight and nutrients available. Clear? Next, see. The nutrient cycle involving carbon is known as. It's okay, दफ्तर होता है, कभी कभी होता है. The nutrient cycle involving carbon is known as. The hydrological cycle, the phosphorus cycle, the carbon cycle, or the nitrogen cycle. Yes. Yes, Pravin. I'm so glad to hear the right answer from you. Actually, I'm not expecting this from you. The nutrient cycle involving carbon is known as carbon cycle, obviously. Right? So, carbon cycle, the whole process, starting from the sunlight to all the process is there. You can have it. Clear? The next, see. Carbon means carbon cycle, nine. Carbon related to the carbon cycle. Due to the presence of carbon, this is known as the carbon cycle. Which of the following is not an ecosystem service? Water purification, climate regulation, industrial manufacturing, or soil fertility? Tell me. Which of the following is not an ecosystem service? Yeah. So what is this? This is the industrial manufacturing. This is not an ecosystem service. There's the water purification, the climate regulation, the soil fertilities are interlinked with the ecosystem. The water purification, natural wetlands, forest and soil health filters and clean water, as well as the climate regulation. Also the forest and ocean absorbs the carbon dioxide and regulate the temperature. That's why they are linked with the ecosystem. In the case of soil fertility, guys, that decomposition by microbes and earthworms that enrich the soil. That is also linked to the ecosystem. Next, which organisms begin every food chain? The carnivores, the herbivores, the decomposers, or the producers. Guys, every kind of food chain starting from the grass, they are what? The producers, the carnivores, the herbivores, or the decomposers. Praveen, can I expect the right answer from you? If I'm not wrong, please let me the right answer. अरे वाह, ये तो गजब हो गया. Praveen, seriously you did it. A big clap for Praveen. Right? So what are the producers, guys? Producers are organisms that produce their own organic matter using an external source of energy. Right? So next, an example of an ecosystem with a short food chain is. Rabin, again. An example of an ecosystem with a short food chain is. Jagannath, you are here. I thought you left the class. Yes, Tejas, well done. Do follow me like this. Tell me. An example of an ecosystem with a short food chain is the ocean, the pond, the desert, or the grassland. The example of a ecosystem with a short food chain is the pond. Among all the options, if there is a option having the aquarium, then that can be the right answer. Okay, the short food chain. Aquarium cannot be an example of course. Okay, aquarium cannot be, because the food chain, at least there is a two types of No, aquarium that can be. Okay, the food chain. What is the food chain, guys? A food chain is a group of organisms that are consumed in a linear order, passing nutrients and energy along the way. Okay, so have a look, guys. Like from the producers, then the grasshoppers, then to the frog, then to the snake, snake to the eagle, and to the fungi or the mosses. Clear? Next, a group of organisms of the same species living in a specific area is called. Guys, when we are discussing about a group of organisms in a same species, that is living in a specific area, same species in a specific area, then we are saying that is the population. When we are counting about the population, that means the human, about the human population, not about the cows or anything, any other animals. Population is always depending on the same species. The humans are the homo sapiens of the same species. Ma'am, PDF telegram re provide କରାଯିବ କି? Yes, no worries Jagannath. End रे OPSC ର telegram StudyIQ OPSC channel रे PDF provide କରାଯାଉଛି. Okay. Tropical rainforest option କୋଉଟା ଆସିଲା? अच्छा example ଦଉଛ. Okay, very good. So guys, population, the group of organisms of the same species living in a specific or living in a particular or given geographical region, that is the population. Example, the honeybee hive, all are the honeybee only. The fire ant hive, they are all are the ant only. The flock of Canada geese or the dandelions of in a lawn. You can just have the example of the people, of the human beings, of the Homo sapiens species. See the next question, which of the following would cause disruptions in an ecosystem? Tell me, which of the following would cause disruptions in an ecosystem? Rabin? Study with DM. DM the full form. May I know the full form of DM, please? Which of the following would cause disruptions in an ecosystem? Oh ma'am, एबे कैंटीन को जिबा को पड़ेगा. The PDF रू पढ़ी ने भी ma'am. Bye. Bye. Bye Jagannath. Rabin. Yes. रबीन यार कब कब खुश कर देते हो मेरा मन, तुम इतना सही से आंसर कैसे दे देते हो फिर? Yes, that is decrease in predators. So decrease in predators, this can cause a population explosion of herbivores which may overgraze the plants, leading to the imbalance and disruptions in the ecosystem. Clear? Yes. Next, the zone of transition between two ecosystems is called. The zone of transition between two ecosystems is called the habitat, ecotone, niche or the biosphere. निचे ये YouTube वाला निचे नहीं है, ठीक है? Dwibendu Misra, such a unique name, Dwibendu. Answer A, no. Answer B, yes. That is ecotone. When the zone of transition between two ecosystems, we are talking about a single zone between the two ecosystems, then that is what? Na ecotone. Okay, that is ecotone. See, an ecotone is a transition zone between two different ecosystems. When we are like coming from a single ecozone, or we can say a single transition between transition to another transition, or a single ecosystem to the another ecosystem, then that is called as the ecotone of any habitat. It contains the species from both ecosystem and often some unique species not found in the either environment. Not in the first environment, not in the second environment. When we are coming from the first to second, that is called as the transfer of the ecotone. Next, which of the following is a major reservoir in the nitrogen cycle? That is obviously the atmosphere. The major reservoir of the nitrogen cycle is always what? Atmosphere. The nitrogen cycle is a natural process where nitrogen, an essential element for life, moves through various forms between different parts of the ecosystem, including the atmosphere, soil and living organisms. But mainly the nitrogen are found in the atmosphere. It is a biochemical cycle that ensures the nitrogen is available for plant growth and the food production. Clear? Or after the degrading or the decomposition of the matter, like due to the bacteria and fungi, the nitrogen gas also releases. Next, the concept of ecological niche refers to, guys, ecological niche means, that is refers to what? The food chain level, habitat only, role of an organism in the ecosystem or decomposers only. The concept of ecological niche, that is refers to the role of an organism in the ecosystem. Role of any kind of organisms. If there are 2 or 3 types of organisms, suppose this is the producer, this is the primary producer, and this is the first level of, we can say, this is the first level of consumer. That means they both are playing their different role in the environment. That is the ecological niche. Habitat of the specific area when an organism inhabits, the role of function of an organism or species in an ecosystem, that is the ecological niche. Interrelationship of a species with all the biotic and abiotic factors affecting the ecological niche. Clear? See, what does a trophic level represent? What does a trophic level represent? The reproduction rate, the feeding position, the species diversity or the climatic condition. Guys, when we are talking about the trophic level representation, that means kiye kahaku khauchi, kiye kahaku overtake karuchi. That means the grasshopper depend upon the grass, the frog is depend upon the grasshopper, the snake is depend upon the frog, and so on. This is how the whole cycle is being completed. So this is due to the feeding position. The trophic level represent the what? The feeding position. Clear? Very good. Next, see, a trophic level represents the position an organism occupies in a food chain based on how it gets energy and nutrients. Like first in the trophic level of producers, then the primary consumers, then the secondary consumers, then the tertiary, then the quaternary, then after that the decomposers or the predators. Clear? Next, see, which one of the following shows both biotic and abiotic interactions clearly? The school, river ecosystem, library or solar panel. I have already told you the largest ecosystem among all on the earth is the aquatic ecosystem, and the aquatic ecosystem or the among all, the river ecosystem is the best example of aquatic ecosystems. That means obviously that shows the both biotic and abiotic interactions. Both the biotic and abiotic ecosystem. Next, which of these factors is least likely to affect an ecosystem? Which of these factors is least likely to affect an ecosystem? That is the temperature, humidity, moon phases or rainfall. Guys, obviously the ecosystem is being affected by the temperature. Also if the temperature is affected, that obviously the humidity can affect that, and the rainfall, that is also likely inversely proportional with the humidity and the temperature. The rainfall is, so that means the odd one out, that is the moon phase. The moon phase has no relation with the ecosystem. So next, see, The factors, the biotic, abiotic, climatic, and the human induced, they all are the depending factor. The biotic are the predation, competition or the diseases. Abiotic, in the case of abiotic, the light, water, temperature, soil example nahi paribo. Climate, rainfall, wind, storms, drought nahi paribo. In the human induced, the pollution, deforestation, climate change. These all are affecting the ecosystem, but the moon phase has no direct relation with the ecosystem. Clear? मैम रेलवे एनटीपीसी एग्जाम अच्छे 14 रे बरहमपुर रे सेति पई टिके ऑफसेट बट एटा ऑफसेट रहला बेले कोन अछि एग्जाम अछि ताकू करेजली अटेंड करो व्हाट ए बिग डील ऑफसेट रहइबो तो एग्जाम बेटर केमति करबो तमे ऑफसेट रही कि जेते कि टाइम तमे भाबिबो कि अच्छा मूड भलो लागुनी क्वेश्चन कोन आसीबो ताठू बेटर तो तमे आउट पांचटा क्वेश्चन सॉल्व भी करि दबो राइट so in the like during the preparation phase there is no space for being upset. Thank you guys, thank you so much. Please ma'am PDF do join the telegram link of the StudyIQ OPSC, you can have there. Okay, oh you are living in Chennai, so you have to come for that na, because exam is very very important. Very thank you ma'am, बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद. Thank you guys, thank you so much. And next class is also on the next Wednesday and the Friday. एक interesting class आने को try करिबी next class. Okay, don't worry. Thank you so much guys. Thank you. Take care of yourself and your parents first. And Telegram channel को follow करो. And if you are interested, then the personal हमारा Instagram channel अच्छी like page अच्छी मोरो, that is @Sudipta Simran. You can follow me over there. Okay, any kind of guidance you can have. Pranam. Thank you so much guys.